Two. Hey, welcome to Check the Vending Machines, a weekly pop culture podcast where two best friends get together, talk about pop culture stuff. I'm Jason, that's Zach. What's going on, man?
Jason,
Uh-huh.
I'm in a confused state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because we talked about this a little bit earlier today.
Okay.
But Netflix dropped a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
They did a fan event. I'm not sure if it's still going on like this whole weekend, but they've been doing a fan event. Dropped a bunch of stuff, trailers and whatnot. My confusion arises because they dropped the opening for Cowboy Bebop. And I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm not upset with it or anything. Like, I'm not angry about like what they did.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm more disappointed
Yeah.
because the opening is basically like it's not shot for shot, but it's definitely like heavily copying what the anime opening was, which is like
Yeah.
cool in a way, but they also like add a lot more of the. It feels like they're adding a lot more stuff that is like teases to contents of what their episode's going to be about, which is like
Mm-hmm.
not really what the original anime opening was about. It's just that introducing the characters and like these are the characters that you're going on, through these stories and these adventures with. And it feels like this opening's teasing more to like what the actual episodes are going to be about, which I'm kind of like
Yeah.
on. Also, I'm just like I don't know because it's copying. I mean, first of all, it's the same song, which is like
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it goes to the whole thing of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But,
Yeah.
and I was talking to one of my coworkers about this. We were talking about it, and she was basically saying that she was like, for her, she's happy that it's the same song and it's so heavily references the original. She's like, I wouldn't want them to do anything that differentiates. And for me, I was like, but for me, I would like to see them try to, especially with the way they've talked about the show, about how it's not supposed to be like a shot-for-shot remake of the anime, and that it's supposed to be like, supposed to. I think their exact words that it like fills in the canon of Cowboy Bebop essentially, where it's like it's not going to be every episode's the same. I feel like if they're going to take that approach to it, I would want to see them like experiment more, and especially like Bebop is so heavily influenced by like jazz in like its music and in also like the storytelling in and of itself, where it's very like free flow and improvisational and takes so many different styles and blends them together in the universe of Cowboy Bebop, that the fact that it just seems like it's like the same thing is like, I don't know, it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, because I have no real relationship with
I was going
this
to say,
with the
I know you don't have
series.
like any real, like history or
Yeah, I
relationship
mean,
to this.
obviously I know the opening. Obviously, I've heard Tank. Obviously,
Yeah.
I've seen the opening in some
Yeah.
parts. I've seen it obviously just
Hmm.
by being alive, and I've
Yeah.
heard that opening 1,000 times just by going to anime conventions and turning on Adult
Yeah.
Swim at some point. So I understand that. I think that, and I watched the opening credits just to
Hmm.
see, and I feel like I'm perfectly fine with the opening. That's to
Hmm.
me is fine. I'm glad that they because if it was something that I really liked, I would want them to do that too. Like if there was
Hmm.
like if there was a particular song or something that was really like in that adaptation process, I would
Hmm.
want that to be transferred over.
Mm.
Especially if it's a theme song that's so iconic. Now, in
Right.
terms of the opening animation stuff, I it's hit or miss for me. I don't really care,
Mm.
but excuse me, that also shows that I mean, I don't know any of the people in the
Yeah.
any of the side characters that they're going to deal. I know. I think the black guy is supposed to be the martial arts guy. I don't know. Oh, the guy who maybe gets
Yeah, yeah,
his
yeah.
face redone. Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
don't know for sure. I don't know. I only watched the first 2 episodes of the show almost.
Yeah.
Um, and then they showed the glimpses of the bounty show,
Mm-hmm.
and that's cool, I guess. But I don't know because part of me wants to say like, okay, it's too spot on.
Yeah.
But then other parts of me goes, okay, well they're being faithful to this. So
Yeah.
at least this is faithful, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's partly of where my confusion comes from because it's like when I texted you earlier, it's like I know that everybody would like flip out if
Yeah, it
like
wasn't Tank.
they released the opening credits for Cowboy Bebop
Yeah,
and it wasn't
yeah, it
Tank.
was Whiplash.
Yeah, yeah, it was like something
Or
else
like
or like some
Caravan
other
or some
jazz
shit.
thing.
Yeah,
Everybody would like freak out and be like, "Why isn't it Tank?"
yeah.
But so I totally get like why they did it. I don't know. I just feel like
I will say this: having not
I
seen
feel
the
like
show,
the way they were
obviously.
talking about it, I would want them to try to take more risks. I feel like it's
Right.
like where my mindset is, but I totally get where it's like, yeah, I mean, especially with
Yeah.
something with like Tank, which is so iconic
Well,
to the
I
series
think
in and of
with
itself.
Bebop, I think maybe with like Samurai Champloo, where to
Hmm.
me there is not one particular song except for the theme song, which is Nujabes and Shingo 2. So like
Yeah.
to
Well,
me, like,
Nujabes also does the ending as well.
see,
So
I don't watch endings; I just skip them.
yeah.
But
Oh well.
I only watch a Battle Cry because I liked Shingo 2 a lot. You
Yeah.
know, it'd be like if they did a Naruto live action, like a legit one, or even a new anime, and they were retelling the
Yeah.
story with modern day animation, like Digimon or something, and they
Yeah.
didn't have Asian Kung Fu Generation Haruka
Yeah.
Kanata. I'd be like, okay, well, we're missing out. We're missing out on a perfect. That's what you
Yeah.
need. That song. I was like iconic. So I can see both ends of the spectrum being like, okay, it's. I think the theme song has to be there. I
Hmm.
think the opening animation can be a little like, okay, I I don't know if we need to be exact because to me it
Yeah.
kind of like it honestly looks like a video game.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely, especially when I watch it like on an actual big screen, like not on my phone, there's definitely moments where you can tell that they're trying to like it almost looks like rotoscope. Like I think it's
Yeah.
like when they have John Cho like smoking a cigarette for the opening or whatever, like all the smoke that comes out of the cigarette is like animated or like rotoscoped almost. So it's like but that's also a weird thing where it's like, okay, but you're a live action series, so like, why are
Yeah.
you adding in this like animation stuff?
I would
Like,
assume it's just for the opening, but I mean, if the show like we watch the opening and it gives me that anime like super because it's super anime opening,
hmm
which could be good or bad. You know, I don't
yeah,
necessarily want my live action to be an anime. I want my
yeah,
live action to be a live action, and I mean
hmm
that in the sense of like pacing of anime is very different from pacing from live
yeah,
action. No, I've seen the Bleach live action; it's not good. You
yeah,
know, but the Rurouni Kenshin live action is fantastic because they almost like those themes of samurai movies were what influenced the manga in the first place. So it's like
yeah,
you can take those generic, goofy anime manga tropes and they translate well because that's kind of what this Ouroboros of fucking
hmm
influences. But Cowboy Bebop, you know, it can go either way. It could be over if the anime if the show itself is too anime,
yeah,
I can see anime fans being super happy that it's close to it, but then they have already
mhm,
said that we're changing certain things, obviously visually, phase, outfit, or whatever.
yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we'll see soon
yeah,
enough.
yeah, we will. It's like a
November, right?
little over a month and a half or something like
Yeah,
that now.
November.
So
So, I mean,
yeah,
I'm excited to see it. I think John Cho looks real old in the trailer.
he looks super old, which
Yeah.
is yeah, super weird because Spike is not old in the show. Like he's in his 20s, like early 30s, and yeah, John Cho's like almost 50s, so it's
He
very strange.
looks, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Asian
Yeah,
dudes look young for a long time.
yeah,
You know, my uncles look young when they're old as shit, but John Cho looks like he's his age in this trailer,
yeah,
and it could be because the hair or I don't know what it is, makeup
yeah.
that
No,
they
no.
do. I still don't understand the casting for him particularly. I have nothing against him.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like you could have found somebody else that could also look like just as close to as to Spike as he does.
Yeah.
because like he really doesn't even look that close to Spike,
Yeah,
really.
and I also just don't I don't know enough about the world of Cowboy Bebop. Like if it was like if this was the Expanse,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which I have read half of the series.
Yeah.
I've watched the first episode. I don't know enough about the show, but I've seen the first episode. But I read half the series, so 5 of the 11 books or however many are out, 12 books or whatever the fuck, 13
Oh
books.
my
Now
God,
I
there's
don't know.
11. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's the last book's coming out soon, if it's not out already.
Goodness.
So
All
I've read
right.
the first 5, and in that world they explain like people have these weird combination of names because in space people they just start mixing, and
Yeah.
the different cultures mix and all kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like the one of the main crew members, her name is like a Japanese name and like a something other name, right? So it's this weird
Yeah.
combination. But Spike Spiegel to me, that's a Jew. That's a Jewish name.
Yeah.
I don't know the world of Cowboy Bebop. Maybe it's also the same, very futuristic mixed names. Maybe he just chose that name when he left the Red Dragons, whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know what they're called.
Uh.
Purple Dragons or something.
Yeah. I would say that it's probably very similar. Where yeah, I think there's definitely like just a lot of cultures and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think that's very influenced in. Oh my God, I can't remember his name. But in all of his work, uh, it fits that same vein where
Yeah,
a lot of his work is very space heavy, and it's that same thing where cultures in space just like all kind of like mix together
yeah.
in the way that like people populate and people colonize different areas and
Mm-hmm.
um,
That's
you
that's
know
a Jewish last name though.
it is a Jewish last name, that's for sure.
And,
Watanabe,
and
yeah.
I don't really, obviously it's anime, so you can't really like be like, oh, because even anime characters look like they're Japanese characters, but they don't look Japanese, obviously.
Yeah.
But like Spike to me doesn't really have Asian features. He looks kind of like a white guy. He's like tall,
Yeah,
he's
he's kind of
lean.
like he's I wouldn't necessarily like I don't know. I don't he doesn't scream Asian to me off the jump other than the fact that he knows Jeet Kune Do, but like
Anyone can learn. Yeah, anyone can do
anybody
that.
can try to learn from Bruce Lee,
Yeah,
so or no. No, yeah, it is
yeah,
Bruce
Bruce Lee.
Lee.
Yeah. So I mean, and even that, like I said, I don't really know John Cho's work except for Harold and Kumar, and I have seen those movies one time.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I wanted to watch this movie that came out recently, Searching, but I haven't I
yeah.
haven't gotten down to watch it yet. But
I mean, the big thing for me is going to be that first episode if they actively shoot the fight scenes well. Because even though I have never seen the show, I've seen the movie, which is really dumb. I've seen the movie, but I've never seen the show. So like,
I mean, the movie's still
oh,
good,
the
but
movie's
I mean,
I
yeah,
enjoy the movie for sure. But there's
yeah.
like the way that they choreograph and shoot and animate those fight scenes are so clearly they watched martial art movies to like make those scenes look good. So like if they don't do that with John Cho,
Oh
I'm
yeah, that's right. He was in Star Trek. I forgot about that shit.
John Cho. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he plays what's his name?
Yeah, I totally forgot.
Yeah, he plays what's his name?
He played whoever
He plays John Takei.
George Takei's
George
character
Takei.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sulu.
Sulu.
Sulu. Yeah. No, but my point. That's my point. I'm looking forward to that. If they do, Born Identity, I'll be let down. But if they actually let him pull the camera back and let him do some Jeet Kune Do, some that kind
Yeah.
of shit. Okay, cool, awesome.
Well, I think they definitely should, because yeah, I mean, if they're gonna try to stay close to the anime, then like the way that the fights are animated in anime, it's not a lot of quick cuts. Like the way that
Yeah,
Watanabe does his fight scenes is they're very much like Hong Kong action scenes where the camera's like pulled back and you really see like what Spike's doing when he's doing it.
yeah,
So
that's what I was saying about the movie. It's like it's clear
yeah,
that they watched those scenes. So I don't know.
yeah.
Um, well, is there anything else that you wanted to mention real fast before we get to
No,
our
that
main
was
topic?
that was the big stuff. That was the
Okay,
big thing, really. I
sure.
know you had some other stuff that you pointed out. I didn't get a chance to watch like the Stranger Things or the Extraction or anything like that, but
Extraction was dumb. Trailer was dumb. Watch it if you
the
want
fact that
to.
it's coming out is kind of cool. I mean, I was telling you a little bit, like I don't know if I necessarily like needed an Extraction sequel, but like I'll watch it
No,
if it comes out.
I
So
would rather watch 10 extractions over insert other jujitsu. At least extraction will be by a guy who knows
No
how to do
stunts.
it, and by an actor who's willing to put the work in to do it.
Yeah.
You know, which is the same thing about John Wick, obviously.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
I mean, that's just simple as that. You know what I mean? And the fact
Yeah.
that the Sam Hargrave, the director of Extraction, can go work on Avengers movies and get paid
Hmm.
the big bucks to go do that, and then double dip and make a movie with an Avenger
Yeah.
because they probably have some similar chemistry from working together on action scenes. Like that's fine, awesome.
Yeah.
It shows me that it shows me that Chris Hemsworth was willing and is willing to John Wick, right?
Yeah.
Whereas other actors in the Marvel universe, such as Scarlett Johansson, is not willing to John Wick, or Halle
Yeah.
Berry. Whereas Halle Berry is willing to go out to the range, go on YouTube and watch the fucking videos, and she's willing
Yeah.
to train with the dogs and go to the range of Keanu and shoot the
She's
fucking
willing to,
guns.
yeah, go with Keanu Reeves to the range and
It's the
yeah,
same thing as with
put in the
fucking.
time.
I was I mentioned this a few weeks ago about Black Widow. I'm not trying to get on a tangent again,
Hmm.
but like I was showing her scenes from Punisher and how come it's like the best Marvel thing beside like in terms of like before Shang-Chi, in terms of like obviously Shang-Chi is the best like martial arts movie
Yeah.
that we got. Movie. Like best like kung fu, wuxia type shit. Before
Hmm.
that, Punisher is absolutely the best. Right? And
Yeah.
Daredevil will be below that because Daredevil they pull the camera out, let people do some work. And then Punisher, you have what's his John Bernthal's fucking working on the gun. He's
Yeah.
working on the fucking shit. And they pull it out and let these guys work and these girls work and it's fantastic. You know, the opening fight scene in Punisher season 2 is like an amazing fight scene and it's in a bathroom and it's like it's amazing. It's a great
Mm.
fight. And it shows you that these other people who are not in armored CG suits, who don't need to do that,
Yeah.
you know, like Hawkeye's coming out. We'll see how that looks. We'll see how that looks.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic about
I mean,
Hawkeye.
it looks
Just because
fine.
just because it feels like, unlike all of these other shows, it feels like it's not going to have huge overarching consequences, which gives me more hope for it. Because it feels like you'll have a less of the Feige's like sticking their fingers in there trying to do whatever the hell they're trying to do with like Loki and
Yeah.
Winter Soldier and all this other shit. So
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out. But
I
other
don't
than
know.
that,
It looks fun. So we'll
Stranger
see.
Things, just real fast.
I saw some shit about some house, but like I
Yeah.
kept seeing the name and I was like, I don't recognize that name, so I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, well, that's brand new to me. So,
Oh, is everybody the way I kept seeing everybody write, it was like the Klee House or whatever, right?
Creole or something? Yeah.
Something like that. But it's like the way people are writing about it, they've been writing about it like it'd been something that had been teased since like season one. And I was like, I don't
It,
recognize this name, so I don't know what these people
maybe
are
it
talking.
was, and I just don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying
Yeah,
attention. Maybe I have to go back and rewatch it to catch it. But
maybe.
it's the trailer is fine. I mean, it's a short
Yeah.
trailer, but it's very much the okay. We hit these movies in the first season. We hit
Hmm.
these movies in the second season. We hit these movies in the third season. And this trailer is the haunted house movies for the fourth season.
Oh, so
This glimpse.
they're leaning into like the horror stuff.
Yeah,
It
the
seems.
trailer is them walking into a house and they drop a bag on the floor and they're like
Hmm.
looking for ghosts almost. Like there's a Ghostbuster pin on their bag and they're walking through this
Hmm.
creepy house. It's like very much like a fucking, you know, whatever haunted house show or
Haunting on Hill House or
movie.
whatever.
Well, whatever the original 80s one that would be. Whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, I have no
I
idea.
don't know. I
Hmm.
don't watch that shit, so I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it's fine. It's just 2022 still. There's no official time, which is kind of annoying
Hmm.
because it's been so long.
Yeah,
So
because the first trailer came out like 2019, right? Or
you're
something.
gonna watch the fucking trailer and you're gonna see Lucas and you're gonna be like, this is a fucking grown man. This is a grown man now.
Well, it's like you even see like stuff with like Finn Wolfhard, and I'm like, he's a whole ass man now. Like he can't keep
You can't
playing
keep
these
playing
like
these characters.
kids.
Yeah.
He can't keep playing these kids. Like he's
Yeah.
a whole ass man. So
Yeah. Last thing before we move to our topic real fast. I know
yeah.
we're kind of just rambling. Um, I did watch the premiere episode of The Wonder Years because I wanted to check it out.
The Fonz? Is that
Um,
Wonder Years?
no,
Okay. I have no
the
idea
Fonz.
about sitcoms.
Oh,
Fonz?
you mean Happy
Fonzie.
Days?
Is that Happy
That's Happy
Days?
Days. Yeah, yeah.
I have no
Okay,
idea.
okay. Just
Okay.
to sitcom you up real fast.
All right.
Wonder Years, classic sitcom from the late '80s, '90s.
Okay.
About a family in the late '60s during Vietnam, middle class family, like suburbia, and it's about I think it's Fred Savage is the
Okay.
brother. Who's the one from Boy Meets World? You don't know sitcoms, so you don't fucking know. Which is the one from Princess Bride? Fred.
Oh, yeah, Fred
So it's
Savage.
Fred
Yeah.
Savage. He's the main character, and it's a narration of him older, telling stories about him being a kid in the late '60s, growing up. Right.
Wait, so that's How I Met Your Mother.
That's the Wonder Years.
So the How I Met Your Mother stole it from the Wonder Years.
Wonder Years is 30 years ago. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
The
like
difference is
that's.
that How Much Your Mother was that it's about them as adults. This is about him as a kid.
I mean, it's the same
So
thing. It's like him
yeah,
flashing back to the past and like telling
you don't see him
stories.
as you never see him as an adult though. It's just narration
Okay,
over footage of him as a kid.
interesting.
So
Huh?
classic show. For a long time, you couldn't buy it on DVD because the music was all legit music, and they just couldn't
Oh,
license it, right? So I think they had like one edition that was finally able to be released.
hmm.
So I just found other ways to have it. But it's a great show. It was a show I loved growing up. It obviously came out. I finished before I was competent, but reruns. So I love the show. But
Okay.
they remade it. Premiere last night, I believe, or yeah, Friday night.
Hmm.
Friday night. Now it's a black family, same time period. I don't know if it's the same city, but it's a black family, same time period, and the dad. Only reason why I watched it is because of the dad.
Okay.
Right? I don't give a shit. If initially I was like, okay, Wonder Years reboot, Black Family, I don't give a fuck. Right? This is a reboot I don't give a shit about. Why would you gotta redo this? I'm sure it's fine. I don't care. I don't need to see this. The first one's
Okay.
fantastic, right? But then I saw that the dad is Dule Hill.
Oh shit.
So I was
All
like,
right.
okay, well now I have to watch at least one episode to see if I like it. Because
Yeah.
I gave James Rodriguez, where the fuck he goes by now,
Oh, the Million Pieces
I
or
gave
whatever.
that show
No?
one episode. Said this show it's not for me. So I did, but I gave
Well,
him a
that show
chance.
is like, isn't that show like ABC's version of
This is
like
us or something.
This Is Us? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I gave Gallivant one episode when it was on TV because of Timothy O'Budson. Not
Yeah.
for me. So I'm gonna watch. I liked the first episode. It was a fun episode. In the
Okay.
first episode of the original show, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the first episode. Arnold, his name's Arnold, I believe. Uh, his crush is Winnie Cooper, right?
Ooh.
And he's like talking to her. He's like crushing on her, but her brother. This is the first episode. She tells him like, "Hey, by the way, my brother was just killed in Vietnam." It's like first episode, great.
It's pretty
So,
heavy bottom
so
drop on somebody.
yeah, I was watching it earlier in the living room with Savannah, and I paused it and said, "Hey, this happened in the first episode of the original show, and they mention in this show, they swerve you. He's he's talking about his brother. His name is Dean, who's in this show. It's Dean is the boy, the youngest character, the main character, and the
Oh,
adult version who's narrating is Don Cheadle, right? So
okay.
Don Cheadle's narrating and he's explaining like how he's the youngest of the three siblings, and his
Hmm.
oldest brother or whatever is in Vietnam currently, like in the
Okay.
show. So I'm like, okay, maybe they'll just do the same thing. Maybe they'll have him die, right? They'll
Okay.
have it be similar to like for the original show, how the girl he liked, Arnold's crush, her brother died in Vietnam. No,
Hmm.
the end of this episode is that MLK dies. I was like, okay.
Okay.
So they swerved me. They tricked me. They showed me the Vietnam thing, and they got me like, okay. They kind of tricked me, and then they end it with MLK's assassination. So they
Oh,
both episodes, they both the shows were like, boom. Here's the point of the show, a time period, it's turmoil,
okay.
whatever. So
Interesting.
if I
Interesting.
give it more episodes, I don't know yet. But the first one was fine. The
Okay.
problem with modern day sitcoms is that I just don't have patience for a lot of modern day sitcoms. I have patience for old ones,
Yeah.
but not for new ones, and that's my fault, not the TV's
Right.
fault. You know,
I got you.
so that's that. That's it, man. Dark Side of the Ring is still going. Season 3 came back.
Who's the first? Because I really only watched the one that you recommended me to watch, which was Jake the
Jake the Snake.
Snake's Jake the Snake.
There's a ton of good episodes, dude.
Yeah, I know. I need to
So first season,
watch this.
first season you got
First season was Chris Benoit, right?
No,
Chris
that's season
Benoit and
2.
oh, really?
First,
Wow.
no, yes, that's season 2. First season, you got Death of Bruiser Brody, which is
Okay.
great. I think you get Superfly. Maybe I could be wrong. I know he's in there. It's hard for me because they kind of all blur together in the seasons. But
Right.
the episodes that stand out to me are um, Montreal Screwjob. Even though I
Mhm.
know it by heart, it's always
Yeah.
fun to see it in the interview. Corny in the interview, you know. I think Eric Bischoff's in it, so they talk to all the people who are in the world, which is really good.
Yeah.
Screwjob, Macho Man, I believe he has an
Mhm.
episode of Miss Elizabeth, him Miss Elizabeth.
I think
Um,
Ultimate Warrior you told me had an episode.
Ultimate War had an episode in this season, season 3.
Okay.
Benoit is a two-parter. I'm pretty sure Guerrero is a one-part or two-part. I could be wrong.
Mm.
Uh, Flying Brian is a two-part. I
Hmm.
believe that's a really great one. Um, and then this just came back was Plane Ride from Hell, which is
Oh, I
about
heard about that one. I think I saw that one like trending on Twitter or something like that.
that's
That
because
was the one
that's
where like
where Ric Flair and Tommy
Ric Flair like
Dreamer.
sexually assaulted people on like an
Yeah,
airplane or
he
some shit.
allegedly pulled his ding
Yeah.
dong out, which is true. Apparently, he did pull his dingy out, but
Yeah.
then he like tried to get the stewardess to touch him or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
And then I saw everybody on Twitter freaking out. There was something that was like I guess Tommy Dreamer was in that one and he said something at the end and everybody was like Tommy
he was
Dreamer's
just kind
trying
of
to crash
like
his whole career.
like the comments were like not sensitive,
Yeah.
they're not very like understanding.
Yeah.
Um, so season 1, Screwjob, Bruiser Brody are my two favorite ones. I'm looking at the list right now.
Yeah.
Season 2, Benoit 1 and 2. New Jack is really good, especially since he's passed away. That's
Mm.
really good. Jimmy Snuka is really good. Um, let's see. Road Warriors is pretty solid. Owen
Hmm.
Hart is really good.
Owen Hart, yeah.
Season 3, Pillman 1 and 2 were really good. Nick Gage was really good. Collision in Korea was really good. Ultimate Warrior will ruin you. If you don't know Ultimate Warrior in general as a wrestling fan, it will ruin any sort of love you have for him.
Oh
Um,
my.
I mean, it does. It did for me, and I knew this stuff a long time ago
Yeah.
because it's not like a secret. It's very open
Hmm.
about Ultimate Warrior, but that's there. Obviously, you watched Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
Dynamite Kid was great. This whole season's been really good so far. Chris Canyon just premiered this past week, and now it's really good.
Okay.
Um, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season because there's a bunch of like outlaw promotions, like promotions that are like indie, that are like real like rough, and the finale is the steroid trials. So I'm looking forward to that.
Interesting. Okay.
So Bruiser Brody's really good though. If you want to see a wrestler get killed, and he's like he gets like killed like at a show like in like I think it's like somewhere in South America he gets like stabbed in the locker room.
Jesus.
Like
All
he's
right.
like real life heat, like real heat, and then he gets like he gets like murdered or something. Or
Shit.
so
All
I don't know
right.
what happened. I forget what happens exactly, but yeah, it's a good man. It's a really good show. The people who make it do a really good job. The one downside is that there's just not enough time for a lot of these stories. 44
Right.
minutes is not a lot of time. They really need to
Yeah.
be like 30 for 30 length for a lot of these things, you know.
Yeah.
So watch it though,
Yeah.
man.
I feel like I noticed that with the Jake the Snake one, where I feel like I don't know. I feel like there's probably some stuff in there that they.
Yeah.
I feel like they definitely like skimmed over that they probably could have expanded on if they had more time.
Oh, I was wrong. Sorry. Chris Benoit Part One has Eddie's death in it, and then Part Two. Then that's how they kind of cover that. So,
Interesting.
and
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Eddie. I'm pretty sure Brian Pillman and Chris Benoit are both on YouTube for free.
Oh, are they?
They
Interesting.
usually drop the premiere episode on YouTube for free on their channel. So I'm pretty sure Benoit 1 and 2 are on YouTube.
Look.
So I would check those out.
Oh, Plane Ride from Hell is on YouTube. So.
Yeah, because it was like brought back. It's the same season as 3, but they just kind of like took it to delay.
Okay.
So, and that episode's good. It's a good episode. So,
Interesting.
but we're not here for that.
No, we're not.
We're not here
We're
for that.
here for the third movie in our series in our lead up to the newest Daniel Craig James Bond. Movie number 3, Skyfall from 2012.
Sam Mendes.
Um, I've got to say, this is still, I think, my favorite Craig Bond movie for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one a lot, which is weird because it is the one Bond movie that I feel like is at the same time brings a lot of the traditional Bond stuff back while not having the structure of a traditional James Bond movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Because I think it brings a lot of like legacy stuff from 007 back, like Moneypenny and
Mm-hmm.
Q and like all that kind of stuff returns. But
Mm-hmm.
then
They don't use
you
them.
look at like the main structure of the story, it's not about like a bad guy like wanting world domination
Mm-hmm.
or like having a super weapon or anything like that. It's all about revenge.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole basic point of the plot, which is like
Well, I guess technically he's working for
interesting.
Spectre, so maybe kind of in
Yeah,
a
I mean, I
roundabout
guess they kind of
way.
like fill that out in the next movie
Yeah.
that like he's basically like the underagent for Spectre or something like that. But in the context of this movie, it's
Yeah.
all just like a revenge
Well,
plot
it
against
could
him.
also be it's a twofer. Like
Yeah,
for Javier Bardem, it's all revenge, but by
right.
proxy, it's you know Spectre work.
Yeah, but I feel like when
So
you take it in that context, I don't know, it kind of like cheapens the movie a little bit because you feel like I feel like in this one specifically, like I feel like the personal aspect between Bardem and like M and like that back and
mm-hmm.
forth and that tug of war, and especially like the parallel between like him as being like the former like basically James Bond of MI6 for M being like the
See,
former
even
favorite
that,
agent.
but even that though. Hold on, sorry. I
Yeah,
want to say this too, real quick before I go into that.
yeah.
Just I started to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
I This was a movie that I really didn't like for a long time until like the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh my god, no! I always liked this movie a lot.
I
I
always
really
thought that
enjoyed
it was
this
like
Bond movie.
really fucking slow, because it is.
It is definitely slow for
And
sure.
then when it
Yeah,
at that 50-minute mark, okay,
yeah.
now we're a James Bond movie. Because for 50 minutes, it's fucking build up.
Yeah, I think it really doesn't really start to pick up until he makes it to where is he at? Like Macau, Hong Kong, wherever he's at. Where he makes it to
Hong
the
Kong, yeah.
casino, basically.
Like literally, I remember like just watching this movie the first time, and because Sam Mendes I love Sam Mendes, and one of my favorite movies is one of his 2000 movies, whatever
Yeah.
his no Perdition, Road to Perdition,
Hmm.
and it has the same like trotting, like slow,
Yeah.
like burn tension, and like that first 50 minutes of Skyfall is just Road to Perdition. Not exactly, obviously, but I'm saying in terms of like theme, like we're gonna slow this down. We're gonna
Hmm.
explode some buildings and build some tension and create some stakes, which I am fine with, but it's a long time for a James Bond movie.
Well, I mean, in the traditional James Bond thing, you do get the opening action scene at
Not
least.
an hour though.
No, I mean, the very start
Yeah,
with the chase and
but
whatnot.
not fucking chase. He's shot. He goes away. He comes back. He's gone.
Yeah, it does take him a while for him to
Literally,
come back.
he does not leave the new MI6 till like minute 45.
Yeah, no, it takes a while for him to
He
like
doesn't come
actually.
back to M till 30 minutes in, and he has to do another 20 minutes of talking and testing just to
Well, I
meet
mean, the
Q.
opening action scene, I think, in and of itself is like 15 minutes. So
That don't matter because that's not
don't it don't matter.
is that relevant to the story? It's the small part of like, oh, she chose the
Well,
job
it
over
sets up the
you.
whole. I mean, it is relevant. I mean, it starts with the whole thing with the list and whatnot, and like, that's the
Yeah,
whole impetus for the whole story,
the
which
the
is
the ending of that movie with Javier Bardem's character being like, or even at the middle part where they first meet, being like, oh, she said take the shot, whatever, trying to pull on Bond's heartstrings, and Bond's a fucking soldier, dude.
yeah.
He's a career soldier. Now the difference they don't explain this in the movie, so I had to Google it to see what because Javier Bardem's character, which I can't remember his name, Tiago or something, or
His official name is Tiago Rodriguez.
so
I think in
he's
the
not a double O.
no, he's
He's a
not. No,
hacker.
he's just an agent.
He's just a hacker. So
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
Well,
are
he was an agent that was scheduled in Hong Kong, and
yeah,
yeah, I think his specialty was like like
cybercrime, cyber
computer,
terrorism, or whatever.
yeah, cyber
So
warfare or whatever.
even on that alone, you're on a whole different level than the double O's. M loves double O's.
She does love their double O's.
Those are the people that get the job fucking done.
Yeah, but I think I mean I agree. They're the people that get the job done. I think this movie does a lot to emphasize like the modern aspect of Spyfare, which is that a lot of it is cybersecurity stuff.
Oh, sure.
Because
Well,
I
it's the
mean,
battle with the prime
that's
minister.
the introduction of Q is basically the fact that he's like, I could do more,
Yeah, for my keyboard.
in my pajamas, waking up than you could do, in an entire year of
But
field
in
work.
terms of like just, I don't know if Sam Mendes wrote the screenplay or not, but the whole impetus of the
Thank you.
idea of that Bond should feel bad that M told Moneypenny to take the shot is stupid because you take the shot because you are a
Yeah,
soldier.
I don't get that part at all. I mean, I get,
No, it
I don't
makes no
know.
sense. It makes no sense for a spy. You are a
I mean,
soldier.
for Spy, it doesn't make any sense. But in the context of the James Bond trilogy that we've gotten so far, I think they've done heavily on the fact that like M has trusted, especially in the context of like Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace. M has trusted Bond to like do the job. So then you go to
Sure.
Skyfall, and she's like, "I don't trust you to do the job. Like, take the shot. I don't trust that he's going to be able to get this list
Yeah.
from this
See,
guy. So just
I
take
see
the
that
job."
too, but I'm still like, no. If she tells her agent to double check, which is Moneypenny, to
Yeah,
to finish it and secure it by for sure and take the
yeah,
shot
no.
twice,
I totally
it
get
doesn't
that.
make sense to me. And even if Bond's purely mad because like she didn't trust him, why the fuck do you care? Why don't you? You're a career SAS guy. Welcome to it's your
Well,
whole life.
yeah. I mean, I think the thing I don't get, speaking of being a career SAS guy, is that in the context of this movie, he died for like 2, 3 months.
Hmm.
He comes back, and it's like he's been gone for like 10
Yeah,
years. Like his physical capabilities are like all of a sudden he's like,
yeah.
I'm like, homie, you've been gone for like 3 months. Like, I didn't go for the gym for like 3 months, and I could still do like at least 75% of what I could do
Well,
before I
maybe
could go
it
to
may
the
be
gym.
because they don't show us, so I just assume that the test is
I
really
assume
hard.
like the bullet wound has more to do with the fact that he like, because like he does a lot of stuff where he like is
Yeah.
constantly like touching his shoulder where it's at, and like his turnaround for his character basically as he's coming back is when he digs the bullet out of his
Well,
shoulder. So,
I don't even take it as that because they show you that, right? They show you the him having
right.
to do one arm shooting. I took it
Yeah.
as maybe the test is just that hard. That like for a regular
Well, it definitely should be
for a
that hard.
regular
I mean, he
person.
failed it, so it
Well,
definitely
yeah.
is
But I'm
hard.
saying like
But
for a regular person, it's near impossible. But for a double O, it's just that much harder. And so
Mhm.
Bond fails it, but in reality, he's still more in shape than the regular
So here's
person.
my question, because there's definitely like two types of field agents. Like there's double O and then there's Moneypenny. Because
Yeah.
Moneypenny was not a
Just a
double
regular,
O.
yeah.
So was it a double O field test or was it a field
I think
agent
it's a
field
double O
test?
test because
That's
because Moneypenny does not have license to kill. She's not a
even though
hitman.
she killed
Yeah,
James
she's
Bond.
not a hitman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
To me, like it's a difference between like okay, you come back, Jason Bourne comes back from to Treadstone, and we're
Yeah.
gonna keep mentioning Bourne every episode. Okay, hey, Mark Webb, Bourne, take your Treadstone test, right? And no mental bullshit, right? It's a
Yeah.
different test than the regular CIA test, I would assume, because they're two different jobs. One's purely to kill you and
One's purely as an assassin.
not feel pain to push through that. One's you can be a little, you know, you can be a little weaker here because your job is to sneak around and spook and take stuff and whatever. You know,
Yeah. That's
I mean, I
fair.
don't know why. And this is just James Bond logic. I don't know why M didn't send Bond 007 and 006 to go retrieve this fucking thing. Or how come she didn't send 001 through 7 to go retrieve the list of
Yeah,
every
yeah,
spy?
especially yeah, if the list is that important, I don't know
Like,
why she wouldn't just send
hey,
like every
boop,
asset
boop,
that's
boop, boop.
available to her.
Hey,
But
recall
I mean,
001 to 10.
I guess in the context of the mission, I feel like they lost the list kind of suddenly. But like, it also gets to the point where it's like, well, why was that list even like in a position in the first place where like it could be lost?
That's the beauty of Vince Flynn, Mitch Rapp novels. He doesn't pull shit like that.
Yeah,
And the main character is James Bond, Jason Bourne times 1,000, and he doesn't slack.
Vince Flynn is which one
He's
is
the
that?
author of Mitch Rapp, American Assassin.
Oh yeah, yeah, American
He
Assassin. Yeah.
his main character, spy assassin man, doesn't slack. He's like, oh no, I've had too many beers now. Guess what? fucking pump the iron, bro. Get back in shape. Gotta start getting back ready.
Yeah.
So Skyfall, I watched it this morning or yesterday
Yeah, I did
morning,
too.
and I've seen it recently, but I wanted to rewatch it just to get fresh eyes on it. And I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it, except for that slow burn. And that slow burn's not bad. The slow burn's good.
Yeah. I mean, the slow burn's there to, yeah, build up, the story and the tension. And it's specifically like, I think a big part of that, even more than the tension, is like the mystery behind what's going on. And also, it does a lot of, especially for like some of the wackadoo shit that happens later on in the plot, it does a lot to set up specifically why certain things are happening.
Yeah.
Like, you got the bombing at MI6 and all this other stuff, and
But
it all seems
just
like random events to like just get at M, but they're also all singularly pointed at getting Bardem's villain to this certain point where this certain plan will go into effect.
and all that to me seems like I'm gonna say this, kind of bad writing. Because if
Uh,
your goal is to just dig at M and then kill her, you can
yeah,
just do that. You can just expose the files to the internet of her stuff because you can hack it. You're better than Q. You fucking hack Q,
you definitely hack Q.
so you
Yeah,
can just go and fucking expose all the jobs on the internet and ruin her career as a spy master, and then you can get into her house and just kill her because James Bond can do it.
yeah.
And you can blow up anything you want. You can just so literally it is a this is where I'm saying, Zach, pointless movie. It's pointless except for James Bond going to some more trauma and to put Ralph Fiennes as M.
As
That's
the
the
M.
only
Well,
reason this
that
movie
and it's
exists.
like it's to point. It's also to get more of a. I mean, because it's really at the end of the day, this movie isn't really a Bond movie. It's really more of a send off to Judi Dench as M. Like that's really what the core of this movie is. And so I think in that aspect of like, because really, in most Bond movies, M is kind of like an inconsequential character outside
The
of
Office.
giving 007 the mission
Yeah.
that he needs to go on. So I appreciate this movie for giving the fact that it gives more depth to M as a character, and especially specifically Judi Dench as M, and being able to give her that send off of somebody who's been with the Bond franchise for I don't know, almost longer than anybody else. I feel like she's been with. I feel like she's been
Well,
with the
it's
Bond
the first movie,
franchise.
the first Brosnan movie.
I feel like before Brosnan.
I don't remember.
Let me look.
I
Let me
thought it was
double
the
check.
first Brosnan movie was her first M.
Let me look.
So
Judy
25
Dench.
years.
Judy Bent. Oh, hold on. God damn it. I typed the wrong thing. Hold on. But yeah, even then, that would still be like, yeah, like over
Because
20 years.
Bond was well, I know I guess Bond was so 20 years.
Brosnan was. Hold on.
Mid 90s.
Skyfall. She was Inspector? She wasn't Inspector. Goldeneye, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Die Another Day, World Enough, Not Enough, Everything or Nothing. She was in Goldeneye too, wasn't she?
I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
Brosnan,
I
yeah.
did say Goldeneye. So yeah, I guess the first Brosnan one.
That's the first time I remember
I
seeing
feel
her.
like she was in. I thought that she was in more than that, but I guess she wasn't.
It's a lot of fucking movies.
It's still a lot of movies,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like 10, 12 movies.
Yeah.
It's like Nick Fury
I
shit.
thought she'd have been in like a Roger Moore or something like that,
She'd been too
but
young at that point, right?
I don't know.
At least to play the M kind of character. I figured she'd be too young for that.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, her first movie was 95, so yeah,
Yeah.
she'd been M for 20 years at that point.
Yeah.
So
I mean, in regards to that, cool. I mean, I don't really care. I don't really
yeah.
care because like the in this movie in particular, they're they don't answer the question that they don't give her the perspective that needs to be said enough, which she says it in the previous movies and she says it in this movie too. But the reality is her job is not to care about you as an agent. And Javier
Yeah.
Bardem's character and Bond both go through this emotional like you should have trusted me or you left me to be tortured. Like she's not supposed to care. She
Yeah.
runs MI6 or she runs the double O's. People
Yeah.
die all the fucking time. That's
Yeah.
the job. You cannot care, right? And that's like real life thinking. But in terms of like, if you're gonna make a spy movie, you have to at least play by spy rules. Like they
Mm.
don't fuck. They wouldn't be talking to you like that on a daily basis. even if you have like 15 double O's, like Jesus Christ, like no,
Yeah.
you're gonna have someone below you running the double O, so you don't have to have that. You'll never have M say kill that person. Never would
No.
happen. That's the whole point of being the fucking. Do we think that George Bush, when he ran the CIA, ever was like, yeah, take that down? No.
Yeah.
He said, boop, 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 here's the file, hand it off. The person below him said, kill that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, in terms of that alone, I'm like, okay, I get what you're trying to go for. This emotional toll of the connection between the two spies and the spy master. I understand that, but like, that's the level where LeCarry would be like, ah. That's where George Smiley is like. That's where he would win in that battle of the. Yeah, I don't give a fuck, because this is the spy game.
Yeah.
And James Bond's like we talked last week. Like, he is the most known hit man in the world. Everyone fucking knows who he is.
Yeah, well, I
I
mean,
mean,
especially the Daniel Craig movies do a lot to emphasize the fact that like he doesn't do a lot to hide it. So
yeah. And they never even mentioned License to Kill. They just like, he has it. Go do it.
yeah, I think they only mentioned. I think
In the beginning of the first movie,
they
yeah.
mentioned the fact that he has a license, and then No Time to Die,
Yeah.
whatever Rami Malek's character mentions that he has a license to kill. I'm like, that's the only times they're like, oh yeah, you have a license to just kill people. So,
and I know I'm bagging on it, but I like the movie a lot. And
yeah,
once it picks up at that like 45-minute mark,
yeah,
once he leaves Q, because even then, dude, maybe I'm wrong. I like the movie a lot, but even the gambling scene, I'm like, I don't fucking care.
yeah. I mean, it's really basically when he's like leaving the gambling place and then he actually has the fight against the guys that it
To me,
starts
that's
like
when the movie actually starts.
yeah.
Which is a
Well,
sad
I mean,
thing to
it's
say.
like, I mean, even the beginning of the casino stuff and him talking to the chick or whatever.
Moneypenny, yeah.
No, not
Oh,
Moneypenny.
the other girl. The other girl.
But that's all just build up to him finally facing off with Javier Bardem. And so yeah, it's all build up until he's trying to leave, and then he has to get into the fight scene. Which is also the first drawing point in the movie to me, where I was like, I don't think I'd ever noticed it before, but I was like, oh, those are CGI Komodo dragons.
Yes.
I was like, God damn, those are CGI. Like those stand out as not being real Komodo dragons.
Yeah, I honestly, and that's where the pacing was actually having me tempted to do Initiate Fast Forward Protocol.
Shit on Skyfall, but not on Quantum of Solace?
Because I've seen Skyfall more than Quantum.
Oh, that's fair.
And because there is, while Quantum of Solace is a worse movie, it does not take that long to kick into the movie.
No, I mean it really, it gets from the jump.
And when I say that, I don't want people to get misconstrued here. Like, the movie's happening the entire time. The whole time you're getting something.
Yeah,
right? You're learning all the time.
It takes a while to get to the actual action part of the movie.
But it's a James Bond movie, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like to get to the actual Bond shit, it's 50 minutes
in. But I would say in this movie, unlike Quantum of Solace, because especially in the beginning of Quantum of Solace, you kind of like are just jumped into it and you really don't know like what is actually going on until like he actually drops off Mr. White or whatever. But in this movie, you have the beginning scene, which is also another part of this movie, which is just I really like the way Mendes shot this movie. I think a lot of the composition for the shots are like fucking beautiful, and the way, especially the ending with like the contrast of darkness and the fire, and like the way he uses like the firelight to like illuminate his shots is great, and is stuff that you see in 1917 as well, which is clearly something he carried on from this into 1917. But you see that opening shot of Bond, and it's like the faded out shot, and then he slowly like walks towards the camera and comes into focus. Like that shot's great, but even then you get like the little context of the scene of like, okay, the list is sullen, Bond's going to get the list. That's where I'm going for. Compared to Quantum of Solace, where it's like he's in a car ride, he's in a car chase. I don't know why he's in this car chase. People are shooting at him. Oh, the car door's gone off his car. Why the fuck did that happen? I don't know.
Well, in terms of caliber director, he's the best that they've gotten.
Yeah, I think so.
For a Craig movie.
We'll see with Fukunaga.
No, it doesn't matter what he does. Yeah. It doesn't.
It doesn't matter?
Sam Mendes?
He is great. Yeah.
what has Carrie done? What has the whitest Asian man done besides what we know he's fucking done, Zach? He's done He's
True
done four
Detective? Yeah.
fucking things. He's done fucking a school film or some bullshit. He did like a fucking student film, a little low budget movie. He did, and then he got fucking True Detective, and then he did fucking Beast of No Nation, and then he did
Yeah.
fucking something else, maybe a TV show or something, and then he got this.
He did the Alien. No, he was a producer on that. Never mind.
So literally, what has he done? True
Yeah.
Detective got him this job. That's it. And the fact that his name is the longest Asian name for the white guy. No offense to Kerry Joji Fukunaga, also as a Hopper boy. I
Yeah.
understand, but he looked real white.
He's definitely a white boy. That's
He
for
looks
sure.
like he's a fucking quarter Asian, not half. I mean, look, dude, my name is a white.
Is he half?
I
didn't know he
don't
was half.
know. I look, dude. I got a white ass name, bro.
Oh, that's right. He did that terrible Netflix series that I never watched
Which one?
with Emma Stone and
Jonah Hill.
Jonah
That
Hill.
shit
Yeah,
sucked.
forgot he did that shit.
Think about this, right? You do that, and you get James Bond.
But he didn't write that though, did he? Did he
I
write
don't
that?
know. He didn't write True Detective, I don't think, right?
He broke part of it.
I mean, there's how many episodes? He directed all of them, obviously, but he didn't. I don't think he read all of them.
Never mind. He didn't write a single one.
So there you go.
I did read his It screenplay though, and that shit was pretty good.
Well, my point being this: he did nothing and got James Bond.
He doesn't really. Yeah, that's true. He really doesn't have.
But
a whole
look
lot
at
to
Sam
his name.
Mendes. They waited for Sam Mendes, so that's why it took so long to get Skyfall. They waited for his ass.
Yeah, which is why I have to rewatch it because I haven't rewatched Spectre in a long time. But I have to rewatch it and figure out what went wrong with Spectre of why.
Yeah.
Because it still hit. I think it's just the script with Spectre, but
So my point being this: great director, the best they've ever had.
yeah,
Just in general, I think the best they've ever had. He's a fantastic director. Makes amazing movies. But I mean, and it's not his fault. It's the choice. It's the director's choice, obviously, but it's also the fact that this movie, and you mentioned this before, and I want to double down on this, is that it's a great movie. It's a really good movie. It's a really solid mid-tier action movie for what it is, dramatic action movie. It is a terrible Bond movie because there is no gadgets, and the fact that hold on, when Q gives him the gun, and Bond says, "This is all I get." That's all Sam Mendes is gonna do is give you Bond run, Bond shoot.
yeah.
But in Quantum we have Bond earpiece, Bond look at this, Bond look at that. In Casino Royale, Bond do this, Bond do that, spy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't make a Bond movie good or bad, but when Q gives him the gun and goes, "That's all you get is that one magazine. It goes to your hand. Go kill people." To me,
Well, that
it
and it's
lacks
also
something.
like it feels very well. James, I don't know. I guess it is Bond because Bond's always very disrespectful to the gadgets that he gets. But it's like he gets the fight scene and like the guy takes the gun and it does what it's supposed to do, which is doesn't fire. And then he's like, "That's super useful." And then he doesn't try to like retrieve the gun. I'd be like, "That's a super useful gadget that he gave you. Like, fucking run and go get it. Like, that's a cool gun that only works for you. Why would you not want to keep that?"
Yeah.
But it is super weird that you go into this movie and it's like of the Daniel Craig movies, it's the first movie to have Q, and yet Q doesn't give him anything Q-like.
It's the first movie.
Very
It's the
strange.
first time we get actual callbacks to Bond lore,
Yeah.
and we don't get any. The most we get is meet Q. Q does this. Q give gun. Moneypenny in the office.
Q says we don't do gadgets anymore,
Yeah.
and then we do the other thing.
And then Moneypenny in the office at the end of the movie. That's like the
Yeah.
most we get, which is not a good or bad thing. My point being that like it's a bare bones movie, and thematically, I don't think the revenge matters, to me. And I think the last act of the movie at the fucking Bond house,
Skyfall?
to me, even when I was rewatching this morning, yesterday morning, I was watching it being like, why are we here? Why? I know the reason they give us. I know the reason they give us is because the breadcrumbs and all this bullshit. I understand that.
Well, the reason they give us turns out to be fucking useless because the reason that he did it was because he thought that he had a gun cabinet full of guns,
Yeah.
and then they show up. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, we sold all those."
And
And
it's
I'm
like,
like, "Why the fuck are you still here then?
why
Go
would
somewhere else that has guns."
the whole reason was like, to me, it felt like set piece, set piece, set piece, set piece,
That's definitely set pieces, yeah.
visual fight scene, visual fight scene, blah 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 blah. And it's a great scene. It looks fantastic. Like I said, the colors look great, the shooting
Yeah.
looks great. It just didn't matter to me for the overall story of M and whatever his name is, Tiago or whatever, and
Tiago.
and M and Bond. It doesn't matter to me because M knows all about Bond's past because she read his fucking file.
Well, they fucking say it in the movie where she asks him about his past, and he's like, "You already fucking
You
know
already
all this. Like,
know.
why are you asking me right now?
I know everything. I have every
Like,
file.
you know, I was an orphan. You know, my parents died. Like, why are
Yeah.
you asking me this right now?"
It's almost like you could have taken her to.
Silva, that's his
Okay.
villain.
You could have taken her to literally in Ireland. It wouldn't fucking have mattered. Anywhere. You could take her to Germany. It would have been the same level of like, why are we here? Because at the end of the day, any sort of like Bond history, like for Bond himself as a character, there's nothing that matters at the end of the movie to be like, oh, we went to Skyfall, we saw the guy, no, guns are gone, we fought, they died. Nothing matters at the end of the movie when he's standing on the rooftop looking at the flags. There's no like, we went to Skyfall and this is what I saw. None of it matters. None of that matters. It's just purely for a set piece, which I normally don't mind, but I expect more from Bond. I expect more from Mendes on that front. It looks great. It's a cool scene. The ending is great with when M dies, when he dies. It's all cool. But I just expect more thematically on a deeper screenwriting level for why we're there. Versus get in the car, get in a retro car, and we're going to drive on the road for advertising. That's all that shit lists to me.
Dude, the most gadgety thing is his car, and that's fucked up.
Yeah. I do want to say, though, that the best fight scene in this movie is in the fucking Hong Kong fight scene in the glass tower, when the guy.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah,
because it's not Daniel Craig fighting; it's someone else fighting with the lights off, so they can actually pull the camera back and like actually have them do some. It was a great fight scene, for it being a very short fight scene, but it was really cool, and that's the best fight scene in the movie, for sure.
The one where you can't see Daniel Craig.
You can't see Daniel Craig, yeah. But what do you expect?
Yeah.
It's going to be the best one. I think the train bit was really cool. That train bit's really fun.
The train bit where he uses the crane and then he falls in and he does the Bond thing, and I was like, hell yeah, that's a good ass
Not
shot.
even that part. It's because there's nothing better. I love this about spy stuff or cop stuff, especially in TV shows. It's I talk to HQ while I'm tracking somebody, and headquarters gives me back information about my person that I'm tracking, and then HQ goes, hey, get on the train. That to me is like my favorite.
You mean the later train scene? Yeah,
all that shit is.
Yeah, that bit with Q was really good.
All that shit is so cliche and overdone, but I still love it because it's so like, I expect that from a spy thing, especially like more of a comedic moment. And to have him on the train, like trying to stalk Javier Bardem and the cop outfit, all that stuff is really, really great. Because that's the most spy-y thing.
Yeah.
Really, like the most stocky thing is that part of the movie.
Yeah, that whole chase sequence with Bardem is really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was the other thing. Which is like the first dumb decision of Bond is like, which is like the impetus for the whole thing, which is like, what did he think was going to happen when he got in the cab of that crane in an unexposed cabin? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm totally not going to get shot to death by this guy who has like a fully automatic pistol.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, not going to happen. Totally not going to get hit. And then he turns his shit around and is like, immediately gets pelted. And I was like, what do you think was going to happen? Like, it's not a protected cabin.
And this is going to go back to my kind of like choices of like, why do we do this? Why get caught? Why get caught just to get to sent to MI6? Just so you can hack the system and walk to where the ministry is taking place so you can shoot M? All
Yeah,
that
that
work
part
just to
feels
shoot
very
M?
convoluted for sure.
How about just shoot M?
I mean, I guess the thinking would be that she'd have her guard down because of the thing, but then the whole thing is like she knows that he's coming, and she's just like she's also stupid. She's like she
So
knows that she's coming. She's like, I'm not going to turn my back
he
to this politician, and I'm like, you know, somebody's coming to kill you. Like, what are you talking about?
he knows, and he tells Bond that he can do whatever he wants, whatever. He can blow up anything he wants. And we see that when he stops traffic so M sees MI6 blow up.
Yeah.
She gets out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he blows up MI6. You can't get a sniper to shoot her right there. Because ultimately, if you're trying to dig at her and make her life suck and ruin her history or whatever it is,
Yeah.
walking in as a cop uniform under the disguise of being a cop and just shooting her, that's going to get your ultimate revenge. This was your whole plan. He planned that, Zach. That was his plan. Was to have Q hack the system, reverse hack it, so he can walk there in a cop outfit and shoot her in the back. That was his fucking plan.
Yeah, no, that's his plan, and it doesn't make any sense. And it's
Thematic?
also weird that his whole plan is stopped by Ray Fiennes, and then it's like, okay,
fucking
my whole plan's gone now because Ray Fiennes stepped in the way.
yeah? What theme does that? What would have been better is if he's in the lockbox, right, in at MI6 before that happens, and if it was like in at the beginning of Quantum, where they have the double agents who are working for. That should have been the room. They lock the door, so it's Bond, M, the other agents who are guards, and he's in the box, and he's like, and then the agents shoot each other, and then Bond has to get out. Because that would have showed the level of like his influence, his power, the power of Quantum, power of fucking Spectre. Not I'm gonna reverse hack the system so I can meet people later in a car and they give me a pistol in a cop outfit so I can shoot her. That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
And when you think about it that way, it's a cool scene. It's a cool dramatic scene. She reads the poem. It's a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Powerful. Ralph gets to take a couple shots. That's really cool. Takes the bullet. That's all awesome for building his character for whatever. But in terms of making Javier Bardem's character seem, he's a fucking cyber terrorist. He's super smart. He knows M. He's a fucking spy, and that's his plan. Is that so? Next day on TV, they can go, a cop shot M.
It's definitely convoluted as hell. Yeah.
It makes no fucking sense. Just blow him up.
Yeah.
Released all the names at one time. Ruin all the spies. Release M's file. Release Bond's file.
That's the other thing that doesn't make any sense. That he only does it. He's like, oh, I'm gonna release 5 a week, and I'm like, why? Like, you're the bad guy. Just release all of them.
Who cares?
Like, you already saw how bad of the press she got from just releasing 5. Like, just release the rest of them.
Release all of them. Release Bond's.
Like, she got brought before like a formal like parliamentary inquiry because 5 names were released. Like, imagine what happened if they were all out there.
I'm just like spitballing. I can think of better fucking shit.
But I do love this scene where he's first introduced, and it's a fucking long take of the shot in his computer room, and he just slowly comes toward the camera. He's talking about rats for some reason, and I'm like, hell yeah, I dig all this.
My grandma had an island with
rats. My grandma told me how to kill rats.
And you dig a hole and you throw coconut in the hole, and the rats go in the hole. And when they're done with the coconut, eventually they start eating each other. And then eventually, when you have just 2 left, and you don't.
And then he's super gay for James Bond. And I'm like, okay.
And you know what you do? You let them out, and now they only eat rat. They culture.
Yeah. They don't eat coconut anymore.
What the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? Great scene, cool little speech, makes no fucking sense. Makes no fucking sense.
He's talking about changing the nature of rats, Jason.
Yeah.
He's talking about changing human nature.
Who wrote this fucking movie?
Not Sam Mendes.
Who wrote this movie? Skyfall. Who wrote this
fucking movie? It's 3 people. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but I definitely remember that Sam Mendes is not one of them.
Neil Purvis, who wrote Roll's Not Enough. He co-wrote 7 Bond films. In No Time to Die. And he co-wrote No Time to Die. All right, so he co-wrote No Time to Die, Spectre, Skyfall, he wrote all the Bond ones. Okay. Johnny English, so you know he's a fantastic writer.
You know he knows he knows his stuff.
All
That's
right,
what you know.
Robert Wade. I guess. Oh, he's the same person. It's a fucking John Logan. Here we go. John Logan wrote Any Given Sunday. He wrote Gladiator, Star Trek Nemesis, Last Samurai, Aviator, Sweeney Todd, Rango, Hugo, Skyfall, Spectre, Genius, Alien Covenant. So I'm not that surprised as to why, when you say the plot of Skyfall out loud, it just really sucks. Movie's still great. It's still a great movie. I know that sounds contradictory, but it's a great movie if you don't think about it. But when you think about why Javier Bardem's character is talking about rats,
Jason, this is one of those think about it, don't think about it kind of movies.
yeah, it sounds like that. I'm starting to understand that because I love the shot of him walking down the hallway with the servers. I think it's a cool scene. It's a really great scene. It's a one-er, and it's super
Yeah.
cool. And,
Great
and
oneer.
I understand exactly the point of the story. I get it.
They are the two rats,
But
Jason.
there really could have been a cooler metaphor.
Yeah, they could have had a better metaphor.
Snakes, because spies are snakes. I mean, spies aren't rats.
Yeah.
And what's the coconut?
I feel like there's a better way.
What's the coconut?
I don't know about snakes, but there's definitely like a better analogy you could use.
What's the fucking coconut?
I don't know what the coconut's supposed to be.
But so
Coconut's supposed to be like, I don't know, average secrets?
So is the rat? You throw the rats in the hole, and
Right.
Bond killing other people the rats, or killing other spies the rats?
I would assume it would be the rat metaphor would be spies outdoing each other to try to get the best results possible, to try to basically be like the top, head honcho spy in the business or whatever.
Because even on that level, Bond's
Because like
been killing
Bond is
people.
like her current favorite, but Javier Bardem's character was like her past favorite before he like. She basically said he like goes over his britches and he like tries to hack the Chinese or some shit like that. Which is nowadays is like, yeah, hack the Chinese, fuck it, do it. Who cares?
But even with the story,
Fuck
when
the
I like
Chinese.
poke holes in them, like, well, dude, like Bond's been killing people for the government since he was like 18 years old. Like, you didn't kill anybody; you were just a fucking hacker.
Has he though? Because then we watched Casino Royale and he basically said he had his first 2 kills in like the span of like a week. So
I think that he means like as a 00.
well, I thought the whole point was that he had to get because the whole setup line from the first movie I thought was that you had to have 2 kills under your belt to be a 00.
I think that means like in 00 world, because I mean he was an SAS guy. He was a commander in the SAS. You don't think he killed somebody?
Yeah, that's true.
But just think about it. He was a military guy for like 20 years or something.
It's just strange wording, I guess, in the first movie where they basically act like that's like the first time he's ever killed. Because even the guy asked him in the first movie, he's like, "How did it feel?" Or what was it? I can't remember exactly what he said, but he basically said like the second kill is always easier than the first kill or something like that. Yeah. And then Bond's like, surprisingly, like that's the second kill he's ever had.
Because to me, it's like, this. And this is just me pulling shit out my ass. He's always been a commander. He's always been an SAS guy.
Yeah, no.
Right? Pretty sure. Mm-hmm. So he is a Delta Force guy for England.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that the Delta Force guy is not going to go out there and have at least some people he's killed in the line of the job? So the first person he's going to kill is going to be when he's trained 20 years with a gun, and the first person he kills is in the bathroom? It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. He's a commander. It's not low rank. He's running a team.
Yeah.
He's put bullets in people. Now what I took from it was, this is the first time you did it when you weren't in a uniform. When you weren't in a war zone, you weren't fighting terrorists. These are people that you know, people that are on your same team, people you can talk to, people that are civilians. You're my second kill that's not in a war setting, is how I took it.
That would make more sense.
How I took it, because I know it's different from like, okay, we're fighting on a battlefield versus not fighting on a battlefield. That's how I took it.
Right.
Where it's like, okay, when you're in a battlefield, you can like, okay, maybe I can separate person from target. Whereas if I'm in a building in the middle of a city, and you're a person that I know, like the guy was, you're a person that we know. Mm-hmm. It's a little different because I can't separate because I have a connection with you.
Yeah.
So that's how I took that. The wording is still terrible.
No, the wording's still terrible. Yeah.
Because it would be like dumb. Because the whole point is like they're like, oh yeah, we M picks double O's who are orphans and they have military training. Well, why? Because they already know how to kill people.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole point. All the killing people part has been trained already.
Right.
It's not MI6 teaching them how to kill people. It's the USA, the SAS is teaching them how to kill people. So that's how
Yeah.
I took it. But
That's fair.
um, I still like the movie a lot, and even though I kind of turned my mind about it, just talking out loud about it, because there's some really wonky choices with what they're doing plot wise. I don't understand.
Yeah, I think script wise, especially if you like look at it too hard, it can definitely fall apart very, very quickly.
And I honestly feel
Um,
like that's kind of like I feel like that's kind of like every Craig Bond movie that if you look too hard, eventually it falls apart under scrutiny.
Casino Royale is probably the most solid.
That
Uh,
ending with Lashif is terrible still.
I mean, outside of like the ending with Lashif, I think most of that script is pretty solid. But yeah, I
Zach, has
think
there
most of
been? Let me ask you this, because you
okay.
haven't seen Spectre, right? Or you have seen Spectre?
I have like vague memories of it. I feel like I watched it like early when it came out, but I haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay, um, not including Spectre because you can't remember it, but we have seen
Yeah.
these three recently.
Yeah.
Has there been of these three? And I'll talk about Spectre too. Like a great Bond movie.
I mean, for me, I feel like this is probably like I wouldn't say it's a great. I'd say it's very good.
Okay, I'll spread it out. From Spectre to the first Brosnan, has there been a great Bond movie?
I mean, GoldenEye is fantastic.
Is it
GoldenEye is
is
like
it great or is
yeah,
it
I
campy
would
great?
consider GoldenEye like a great Bond movie. I fucking love GoldenEye. Like we should do a Brosnan recap at some point because I mean I don't really want to do a recap. I just want to watch GoldenEye again because
Yeah,
GoldenEye is like my favorite Brosnan movie, and it sucks because like it's his first one and it's his best one.
yeah.
I love GoldenEye so much.
Because when I think back, like on the Bond movies, I'm like, I don't think there was a to me. There's a great one since like Roger Moore.
I love GoldenEye a lot,
Maybe like Live
honestly.
and Let
I
Die
think
or
it's like
something.
one of my favorite Bond movies. I
I
love
haven't seen
GoldenEye.
it in so long, so I really don't remember.
It's also got Sean Bean in it. Sean Bean's great. So
He's good.
yeah.
He is good. Well, Zach, is there anything else you want to talk about with Skyfall before we end the pod and attack next week with Spectre?
Uh, Adele's opening's great once again.
Mm-hmm.
I think it fits the tone of the movie a lot. It's very slow, atmospheric. It's
Agree.
a lot different than
Jack White.
yeah, Jack White or Chris Cornell's. It's a lot moodier, which I think fits the tone of the movie. So
Yeah.
I think of the openings that we've had so far, I think it's honestly like one of my favorite openings for a Bond movie uh, from Craig's
Oh,
movies.
I prefer Quantum of Solace.
Jack White's,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like
I figured you'd probably like Jack White's more.
I just like
But
Jack White over more than anything.
yeah,
I think Jack White. Well, first off, Jack White's a true artiste.
yeah,
He's the kind of. I mean, obviously Alicia Keys is in the song too, but
yeah.
Jack White. Jack White is so pretentious. I love his music. I love all his music, whether it's fucking White Stripes, Raconteurs, his soul. I love all his stuff. Lazarus, his solos. I'm a huge fan. But he's known for like rising the action. Do you know what the action on a guitar is?
No, I don't.
It's like the string height off the fretboard. He's
Okay.
known for like making it really tough to press down on the strings because he wants to feel like a musician when he's playing. So it's like he's like fighting the guitar, and it's like, why the fuck? Just make it easy. Just play the guitar. Just play the guitar, bro. But the blues, he has to
Yeah.
fucking fight. He has to fight for the blues. Um, well, hey man, we'll see you guys back next. Oh, I want to say real quick, actually, too.
Oh yeah.
Last 2 weeks of October, we are going to do Halloween movies.
Oh yeah.
First 2 weeks of October, obviously, are going to be Spectre and then No Time to Die, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Next week is
Let me look at the. Well,
Spectre.
yeah, because Next week, yes, Spectre, and
Week after
then
that
yeah,
is No
No
Time to
Time to
Die.
Die comes out on the 8th.
So
So,
perfectly planned, right?
yep.
Um, and then 2 weeks after that, there's 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks of October will be Halloween stuff, and we have some ideas. I do know we talked about watching Halloween for one of the episodes. And the other one episode might be kids Halloween stuff or Nickelodeon
Yeah.
or Cartoon Network stuff or Scooby Doo.
Hmm.
We're playing it out, but we're doing a serious Halloween episode with like
Yes.
an actual horror movie, and then
Hmm.
we're gonna do a nostalgic kind of kiddie Halloween
Yeah.
theme stuff. I
Hmm.
don't know. Did we officially pick Halloween or um
I mean, I'm down to do Halloween
okay.
because I've been wanting to watch it because I don't know if you've been watching it, but Jay and Rich have been doing the John Carpenter movies, and they
I
were
do,
talking about
yeah.
Halloween,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, I still haven't watched Halloween because that reminded me though, like, no, yeah, I've only seen what was it, 2018's Halloween or
Yeah.
2019's, whichever one.
The new one.
I think it was 2018, but yeah, like
The
the
new
newest
one.
one.
Okay.
Like that's the only one I've seen, and then I think I texted you. It was like, it's like the big series because I realized now thinking about that I've also done it for Friday the 13th or not Friday. I've done it for
Yeah, Friday.
Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street, where I've watched their soft reboots,
Mm-hmm.
but I have not watched any of their original
Originals.
movies.
Well, I mean, I've seen. I'm the opposite. I have seen the reboot of Friday the 13th. I saw it in theaters with our friends actually.
Yeah.
Um, but I have seen the originals of Friday the 13th and Halloween. That's it. I haven't
Hmm.
seen any of the sequels. I haven't seen Season of the Witch or H2O. I haven't seen
Hmm.
any of them. I know a lot about them because of watching people like Riley Media
Yeah.
who are into that genre stuff.
Right.
And I'll watch reviews of that stuff, but I don't go out and watch them
Right.
myself. So I've seen Halloween. I watched it in a film class when I was in
Hmm.
college, and my teacher was like, "Fucking in love with it," right?
John Carpenter,
And
baby.
then I remember watching it being like, "It's a movie," right? And I remember being like, "Just kill him. Just
Just kill him.
kill him. What are we doing?
Oh, kill him.
Just kill the guy. Just keep killing him. He gets down, kill him. What are you doing?"
But Jason, he's the boogeyman.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I watched the trailer for Halloween Kills today, and
Oh, I haven't watched
I
it
was
yet.
watching the trailer. I was like, "This is fucking terrible. This is fucking terrible, dude. This is garbage. This is
I
terrible."
like the 2018 Halloween a lot.
I love the fact that like he was. So hold on, real quick before we end the podcast, and this is not related to
Yeah.
this at all. The scene in the trailer where he's like standing in like that courtyard, or is he standing, or is he sitting in a wheelchair or something, or
In the 2018 one,
yeah, he's like
he's like standing in. He's like standing in the psychiatric
he's standing there for
courtyard.
he's standing there for a long time, or
Yeah.
for how long is he standing there?
I think it's like the recess thing for prison where it's like it's his segmented time to be out
Okay,
in the courtyard and then they like
and
drag
he's
him
like
back
not
inside.
talking or anything, right?
No. Well, he doesn't have his face.
Right.
So he's just like a blank.
So I
I
got
don't know.
I
They got whoever they got to replace Donald Pleasance shows up as like the psychiatrist
yeah.
and like yeah.
I just kept thinking about that scene, being like, this is the fucking trailer to Dumb and Dumber 2. Do you remember the trailer to Dumb and Dumber 2? Where
Do I?
Lloyd's like in like a I'm pretty sure Lloyd's Jim Carrey, right?
I think so. Yeah.
He's like in like this like catatonic
I'm the
state.
biggest. I'm not the biggest
Okay.
Dumb and Dumber
So
encyclopedia of knowledge,
Dumb and
but
Dumber 2, the trailer. I've only seen the trailer. He's like at a psychiatric hospital, and like he's like catatonic. And then like in the trailer eventually he like goes, "Oh, I got you." He's like, "Wait, Lloyd, you've been pretending to be in a coma or whatever for 20 some years?" "Yeah, it's a funny prank, isn't it?" I just for some reason that made me that reminded me, like watching the Halloween trailer, this is Dumb and Dumber 2. Oh,
this is Dumb and
hey, I
Dumber
pranked
too.
you. I'm gonna go kill you now. That's fucking. But then the trailer for Halloween Kills, he's like beating people up and like fucking killing firefighters with like a chainsaw. What the fuck are we doing? Is he a demon in this movie?
He's the
Because
boogeyman.
aren't they? Didn't they retcon like fucking Halloween 2 to 7 or some shit? 2 to 10.
Well, the 2018 one, yeah, basically retcons everything after
Halloween 1 or 2
Halloween 2, I
or
think,
3.
actually. I think it's Halloween 2.
So he doesn't go to hell. Jason goes to hell.
Jason goes to hell. Jason goes to space.
So I know Jason is different.
Jason goes to Manhattan.
So here's the thing. Jason is.
Jason goes to a lot of
Jason's
places.
magic. I understand that, right?
Jason's supernatural.
He's supernatural. He's magic. Is Michael Myers not Magic Man? Because the way that this trailer shows him, that's Magic Man. And if we're playing Magic Man,
basically later on, he basically becomes Magic Man.
Yeah, I mean, if we're playing with dark arts, we gotta stop using guns because they ain't working. We gotta start doing some spells in this bitch. You know what I mean? So
definitely need to get like some Doctor Strange up in here.
We gotta break out the Aleister Crowley stuff because this ain't working. These knives ain't working.
Where's John Constantine when you need him?
Seriously. Well, hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you back next week with more Check the Vending Machines.
See you guys.